Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Daniel here. I got a little video on an inexpensive forge build I did. The forge body cost about 30 bucks. Then I added the regulator from Atlas Knife Company and burner, which you'll see in the back here in a second. Got my little railroad track anvil. I'll pull in a little closer here so we can check this out. Alright, so here's the forge body. It's a pretty decent size. It's a foot long and roughly 7 inches across. I wanted this to be something anybody could build easily, so I just went to the hardware store and bought a piece of sheet metal. It was 10 bucks, $9.50 actually for the sheet metal. I think it was 20 gauge, maybe 22 gauge, and it's not galvanized. Make sure you just get regular old steel. Here's some fire bricks I have on the end, and a little piece of cinder block I have kind of protecting the burner. So I'll just take all this stuff off here and show you guys what's going on. I just have my burner in here temporarily right now, and I have the brick holding it all in. And carefully remove this. This is the 100K burner from Atlas Knife Company. It is awesome. It's a little bit too much for this size forge probably. I probably should have gotten the 30K burner, but I'm at altitude and we wanted to do some testing to see how it went. Sorry, I knocked the camera tripod. So back to the forge here though. It's a sheet metal. All I did was just carefully bend it in a circle. And I had some steel here I bought to practice file work on a long time ago before I started really making knives. So I cut this little bar of mild steel up. These legs, as you can see, are bent. All I did was just take a cheap $10 handheld propane torch, heat them right here, and I put this part in a vise and bent it so they have a nice contour, and the forge sits off the ground. I've got this part in here for a little bit of support and some 3/8 through bolts, 3 nuts and bolts. And then here's the inside. We've got 1 inch of inch wool in there, or you can use K-wool, it's about the same thing. And then it's lined with about 4 or 5 pounds of Satanite refractory. And at this point, that's it. I just wanted to show you guys how I did that, because it was 10 bucks for this part, a little less than 10 for this inch wool. It was $7.50 for the foot, because it's exactly a foot long. And I had some left over also. And then the Satanite was like 10 bucks, I think. Or no, I sold my soul for the Satanite. Never mind. Alright. Sorry, I gotta spare you guys this stuff. But yeah, so about 30 bucks there, plus the burner. And so far it's really awesome. I'm gonna make some upgrades, but I just did this so far just to see what you can do on a budget. So now we're gonna go ahead and light the forge. I like to ball up a piece of paper. And you make sure the forge is clear of any propane. So go ahead and ball up some paper. Make sure that's going. And then I get my tank turned on, and then the regulator. That's how I do it, at least. And I try to turn it down as low as possible at first. This forge is brand new and it's just barely been cured. It's probably a good thing. I don't really know. So we're just gonna let it go right now. I have the camera good and far back, just zoomed in really nicely. And let's just sit here and let her cook for a little bit. Get nice and hot. Talk a little more about how I built this thing. To hold the initial form, when I had it round, I tried some rivets, but they didn't turn out to be the best idea. They did help me kind of keep it round while I put the reinforcing through. I also painted it black with some barbecue paint. That helped it look a lot better, and it's not going to rust now. As you guys can see, I got refractory all over it, but that didn't really matter to me. I could have just taped it off and kept it clean, but that's all good. For the liner, all I did was just cut out the inch wool and put it in there with a hole in it for the burner. There was nothing to that. I didn't use anything to keep it formed or anything. It just goes in there no problem. And when I put the Satanite, it's just some powdered stuff, so you just mix it to a sour cream like consistency. And then I just put that stuff on there with my hand. I had a glove on, and I'd recommend the glove. I tried it without a glove, and it's pretty abrasive stuff. Usually what you want to do next is put some ITC 100 on the forge to make it more efficient. And I will do that. I have some already. I just did this to show you what, like I said earlier. Hold on a second. So I'm turning it up right now. It's puffing just a little bit because I have it down low. But yeah, no ITC. It'll be a lot more efficient. There's a few other things I'm going to do to it also. This is cool to just learn a little bit as I go. This is my first forge I've ever built, and I don't know a whole lot about it. I got a lot of feedback from the guys on Blade Forums, which is awesome. And I'm going to build another forge here soon. I already have the body in for it. It's going to be a fair bit bigger, but I've already learned this is pretty darn big actually. Like I said, only 30 bucks so far. I need to build a fitting to hold the burner, which will be soon. I just grabbed a little bracket I found at the dump to do that with actually. And another thing, it's not too low budget, but I have the firebrick. This is a soft firebrick here, which is really holds the heat in, and I also have some hard firebrick back there. Let me show you guys. This stuff you can probably get the hard firebrick locally, and it's just made to withstand high heat. It doesn't have as good of insulating properties, but your forge will work a little bit better if you cover up the ends. In fact, way better. So go ahead and buy a couple of these. I think these were $4.50, and cover up the ends. You can stack them up here, provide a little workspace. All right, you guys can see it's starting to glow already. I'll reposition the camera a bit. Now we got some fire bricks stacked up in what is actually the front. We're looking into the back of it right now. Let's see. Hard to tell, but it's getting a pretty good swirling kind of vortex in there. It's putting a lot of heat off even 4 feet away. I'm go ahead and crank it up some more. It takes like 5 or so minutes to heat up, and after that I turn the burner down as low as I can because it is cranking hot and plenty good for any forging that I've done so far. And I'm going to go ahead and cover up the back and let this thing heat up. We'll do the rest in a minute. I'll start the camera. It is pretty darn dangerous. All right, it's going really good. As you can see, I've got both ends covered up here, and we'll go ahead and move around the front. And it's rolling. Pretty hot. Nice vortex. It's starting to get a little darker too, so you guys can finally see what's going on in there. But as you guys can see, it's only been about a minute since I moved the tripod and covered the back of it up, and it's already this hot. Okay, so we're up to heat, and I went ahead and turned it down a fair bit. I'm going to go ahead and try to heat treat a railroad spike. So there's the spike I have right here, if you guys can see. It's polished on the top because this is going to be a forming tool for blacksmithing or jewelry making. I'm gonna carefully put this in here. I don't want to damage the refractory. And you heard that noise? That means my burner's turned out a little bit too low. At least I think that's what that means. I need to tune my burner a little bit, I think. So far it's working great. You have to mess with them just a little bit to get the inlet flush with the lining of the forge. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and let this thing heat up. Take a peek in there. And we'll go ahead and close it up with some firebrick. So, inexpensive forge body, and then with the addition of the bricks, it's actually a really nice forge. Just throw this thing together, go get the burner from Atlas, and you're good to go. I'm building a burner too, also a blown burner, and I have to say the Atlas burner is around the cost of what I spent on the regulator setup. So you can just get this, and you don't have to plan anything. Just throw it together, and you're good to go. So while that heats up, let's check out my little budget bladesmithing or blacksmithing setup. I got a little railroad track anvil I found. It has good rebound, but the face is round, so it's not that great for blades. A couple flea market hammer finds. They're like $3 each. These both need redressing and work on the handles or new handle. Another flea market find with the tongs. And thanks Rolf on Blade Forums for these tongs. These things are awesome. Alright, and I got my stump down there, which is out of my firewood pile. And this is my brine quench bucket, even though it's some real quench oil. I figure this railroad track part here needs a good quench. And let's go ahead and check on this thing in just a second. Let me get the camera set up. And as you guys can see, just while I was talking, this thing got red hot and is it's a magnet there. It's completely non-magnetic, even in the coolest spot. I went ahead and go to quench. Oh, sketchy fire brick. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's going good. Alright, I'm going to pull it out off camera. Alright, there we go. So this is my little stake forming tool. And this will get hammered to my stump there, or probably a larger stump that I'm going to find. Let's get this back in focus. And check out the forge. You want to be careful with the fire brick. It's going to be extremely hot. I already touched this and no, it's not. So you can grab the outside carefully, and as you see, the inside of this thing is cranking still. Here, let me go off camera and grab some paper. So just for the Beavis and Butthead in me, that's how hot it is. Alright, you guys enjoy, have a great evening, thanks for watching.